going on? How you doing? Welcome to Daily Fuel. Welcome to the replay. My name is Bobby. I'm the host of this group, The Spiritual Artist. And if you're watching in the replay, then do me a favor and say, hey, I'm in the replay. Or something, not quite as weird as that. But you can put a hashtag replay artist, hashtag replayer, whatever you like. Make one up. They're kind of fun. So you guys can do that. All right, enough of replay people. Live people. Well, I mean, you're all live. But anyway, if you're here live, you can start commenting. Amy is here. Hello. And Rupert is here. I see your name and not your picture for some reason. That's weird. Monday. Mikey's here. What's up, buddy? And Marcia is here. And looks like maybe one or two other people might be here. So definitely start commenting. Just a quick announcement. I have a new announcement post in the group. If you go and take a look at it, it's right at the top of the group if you just go to the group. And basically, I'm looking for people to help me with the product that I'm creating. I just need about a dozen or so people. I think I'm almost at a dozen, but I might need, let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, I got 7. So if I can get another 3 or 5 or whatever, people who are spiritual, people who are artists, people who are entrepreneurs, business owners, if you have an art-related business of some kind for about a year or more, that would be great. If you're all three, you got to be spiritual, artist, and an entrepreneur. So if you're all three of those and you're interested in learning about this thing that I'm doing, I'm not asking you to buy anything. I'm just asking you to look at it and help me make it good so that it's something that people will actually want. It shouldn't take a lot of time. And I'm not giving you anything for it. So, so if you can help me, I would appreciate that. All right, let's get started. My son just got home, so there's a little noise above my head, but we'll deal with it, okay? All right, Paint the Door Red. That is the name of this episode. That's a weird name. You've probably heard me talk about my buddy Landon. Happy to help, however. Yeah, cool. Kirsten, excellent. I'll add your name to the list. That'd be wonderful. Thank you. And Ray is here too. Okay, enough. I'm ignoring you people now. I'll come back to these in a minute. You guys can keep on commenting. I Paint the Door Red. So you've probably heard me talk about my friend Landon Porter. Landon is another group runner here on Facebook. He's got a fantastic group, and I'm going to be talking a little more about his group as time goes on because he's launching something really cool too that I think would probably be very beneficial for some people in this group. So we kind of work together and we're building our things in tandem. Anyway, so I started working with Landon one-on-one about 3 years ago, and right at the very beginning, actually, I don't think it was the beginning because it was maybe about 6 months in. I was at this point where I needed to get some money in the door, and I was feeling a lull in my business, and so I was like, dude, what can I do? I need cash. So he's like, what have you been doing? And so I started just listing the litany of stuff that we do as entrepreneurs when we need money. I'm calling everybody. I'm frustrated. I'm worrying. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm emailing and blah 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 blah. And he's like, all right, hang on. I know exactly what you need to do. I said, cool, give it to me. Give me the juice. Tell me exactly what I need to do. The magic button to get people to be like, yo, I'm hiring you. He's like, here's what you got to do. You got to go to the hardware store. I'm like taking notes, right? You got to go to the hardware store. Get a quart of red paint. I'm like, I don't know where this is going, but okay, I'm with you. And he's like, and then I want you to paint your front door red. And I'm like, and maybe you didn't understand what I said. I need clients, right? He's like, I understand that. I said, and you're telling me, I swear to God, it was like a who's on first, but Abbott and Costello kind of a thing, right? Who's on first? Third base, right? That thing. If you don't know it, Google it. It's hysterical. Anyway, so he tells me, go to the hardware store, get some red paint, paint your front door red. And we had a conversation about this. And he's like, you're doing all the typical desperation stuff that every business owner has that time in their career when they're doing that stuff. Usually it's multiple times in your career. Sometimes it's all the time. It's your whole freaking career is that, right? It doesn't have to be. he said, what I want you to do is I want you to paint the front door red. And so basically, he at the time, he gave me this spiel about red doors allowing in energy. But really what he was doing was the three things that I'm going to get into. And he also wanted me to clear a path from my front door to the area to the basement, because my office is in the basement, right? Make sure that that's clear of clutter, some feng shui stuff here. And then from the basement door is all the way on the other side of the basement. I have like a long house. I'm on this side. The door to the basement is down here, so I got to come down the stairs and then walk all the way across the basement to my office. That how walking works, right? So here I am. So he's like, and make sure you have a nice, clear, wide path so that the energy can just flow from the front door through the house to the basement door, down the stairs, all the way across the basement to your office. We want that energy flowing. So I did that, and I spent the whole weekend doing that, because we talk on Fridays, and then Saturday and Sunday I did that. I painted the door. I cleared the house up. I emptied the basement from garbage. I made sure that I had a nice path up to my thing. And a funny thing happened that month. I doubled my income that month, right? So I'm like, cool, dude. So now I got a red front door. What color should I paint the back door next month? Right? So now I'm a believer in painting doors. So it wasn't the painting. It wasn't the door. It wasn't, yes, we believe in energy and all of that stuff, but here is what it was that made that happen. Three things. Number one, it was a pattern interrupt. When I told him that I needed to get cash, and I was just like, I have been desperately trying to get the money in the door by calling these people and doing these things, he realized, you got to stop doing this shit you're doing. We need a pattern interrupt. We got to stop. Turn your brain off. So I stopped this cycle of desperation. I stopped this cycle of worry, and I put my mind on something easy. It's like, I got to get clients. I don't know how to do that. I got to paint a door red. Well, I know how to do that. And I painted the door, and it came out great. It's still red, right? So I believed in the energy flow also. It's like, once he got me into this thing about the flow of the energy through the house and down to the thing, I believe in that. So it was, I was on board with it. So now I'm painting this door with gusto. I'm like excited, and it came out nice, and I was very happy with it. And my wife liked it too. She picked out the red. So that was great. It was a pattern interrupt. And then number two is, it took my mind off the problems, because once you have a pattern interrupt, now you're thinking about a new thing. Now you are not thinking about the old thing. You're thinking about this now. I'm just like, oh, this is a nice red, and blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to clear this. But now I'm not thinking about my problems anymore, at least for a couple of hours, right? It didn't solve them. It didn't, when I finished painting the door, it wasn't like I had amnesia and couldn't remember the issues that I had. But for a little while, I took my mind off the problems, and it allowed the energy in my body to settle, in my mind to settle. I was able to focus on a different task and just sort of chill out, relax a little bit. And number three is that I actually accomplished something, because when I was like, I need to get money, and these guys won't answer the phone, and these people won't answer my emails, and blah, 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 right? I felt like completely frustrated, and there was no satisfaction in any of that. But now my task was paint that door. And I painted the door, and I liked how it came out. And there was satisfaction in that. It's like, wow, I got a quick win. Something worked out, and it... And that satisfaction feeling, I've come to realize, was actually the thing that I wanted. It wasn't that I wanted money. I wanted to feel fulfilled. I wanted to feel satisfied. I wanted to feel, maybe not in control, but I wanted to feel like I wasn't helplessly being flung down this river of chaos. I wanted to feel stable. And doing the door, clearing the path, all of that weekend got me into this mindset that on Monday morning when I went to work, I didn't go to work like this. I went to work like this. All right, let's do this. I can do this now. I feel good. I feel wonderful. And I had a great week, and I had a great month. And, not to say that I've never had a rough time since then, but I can say that when you just think of anything you can do to break this pattern. I'm in this cycle, and nobody's getting back to me, or this isn't happening for me, and I've been doing this for weeks and it's just not working. Stop doing it. Do something else. Paint the door red. it's a metaphor. You don't literally have to paint your door red, but anything you can do to just sort of clear the energy. And the reason I thought to do this one today is because my wife and I started cleaning out the basement again. It's been 3 years since I did that, and over 3 years there's more clutter in the basement. I don't understand how basements work, but apparently they are magnets to crap, and just more stuff has piled up in there over time. So, we were down here yesterday and we started cleaning stuff up, and we were both like, I don't want to do this. But we'd started doing it, and then you did one thing, and then you saw another thing, and before you knew it, I started feeling that fulfilled feeling again. And I was like, oh, this is an easy win. I can pick this thing up and put it where it goes. I can take this thing that we haven't looked at in 5 years and throw it in the garbage, because who needs it? It's garbage. So, and it just made me remember this. I was like, this is painting the door red all over again. So I thought I would share that with you today, and that's the story. So let's go to the comments. Amy's here. Hello. Rupert's here. Hello. Monday. Hello. I said all these. And Kirsten, I got to put you on the list. You know what? I'll remember. But is it Swedish red? I don't know. I don't remember which red. It was more like a brick red that we did. And Deb is here. Hi, Bobby and company. Hello, Deb. And Deb says, quick wins are always good. Yes, I really, really think that now, because, I think that a quick win is a good way to get a taste of that satisfaction that we're really desiring, to just get that satisfaction, and also that little bit of stability or control or ability, right? It's like sometimes when you're flailing trying to do something big, or you're overwhelmed by a task or whatever it is, we think of the thing in your life that's like that. But when you can get a quick win, it reminds you that I'm able, I am capable, I can do this, I can do anything, and then I can remember that, oh, wait, I remember what I am. I'm not this thing trying to figure out life. I am God in a human suit, being amazing, and I forgot that for a little while. So a little quick win of cleaning the basement or something is a decent way to remind yourself, if you can do it again and again and again with that mentality that this is a quick win to help me remember my power. I think that then we can carry that power into the bigger things. And we're going to hit walls again. Something's going to hit us in the face. Something's going to knock us on our ass. But because that's just this life that we're living in. That's just this 3D world that we live in. But we don't have to be knocked down and held down by it. Getting knocked down is one thing. Not feeling like you can get up is a completely different thing. Where's Ray? I gotta breathe. Deb, pattern interrupt. Yes. Yeah, pattern interrupt. That's a phrase that I got from my sales training many years ago. The idea was that clients or prospects will understand or expect a salesperson to come at them a certain way, say certain phrases, and pattern interrupt is saying something that's completely out of left field. So that's where I learned it, but I realized it applies to a lot of things, because we get in these ruts or grooves, or not the good groove, like, oh, I'm in the groove, but sort of like we get stuck in these grooves and patterns of life where patterns, literally, where we end up doing the same stuff over and over again, getting the same results, going, I don't understand why this doesn't work. And that's insanity, right? Pattern interrupt is a way to literally take yourself out of that pattern, out of that behavior, and try something else that you haven't tried before. And the reason the red door was great was because not only was it a pattern interrupt, but it was on the surface, it was ridiculous. I need to get money from clients. Oh, cool, go paint your door. What are you talking about? It's in 3D land, it's ridiculous. In energy land, it makes perfect sense. That's what pattern interrupt is. All right, Mikey says, if I can click that thing, and I got an itch. Mikey, very valuable perspective on pattern interrupt. Thank you. You're welcome. And Brian, hi, my brother's here. What's up, buddy? Brian says, at least you painted your door. Mr. Miyagi would have had you paint his door. Yes. Well, it's funny you say that because Landon and I always refer to Karate Kid stuff. We're always calling it wax on, wax off, paint the fence, right? The idea being that the wax on, wax off, if you don't know the story Karate Kid, right? He wanted to learn karate. Mr. Miyagi was a sensei. And he's like, come to my house for training. And so his training was, see these cars? Wash the cars, right? And then wax the cars. Except he had to do it like wax on and then wax off, right? And he had to do it in this weird way, and it was very uncomfortable, and he had to do like 15 cars. And then he had to paint the fence, and it was like paint the fence like this, right? He had to go up and down with these long strokes, and he was getting really pissed off, Ralph Macchio, right? Until finally he's like, what the fuck? It's like, I thought you were going to teach me karate. I've been doing your chores. And then Mr. Miyagi's like, show me wax on, wax off, right? And so he starts to do this just as Mr. Miyagi goes to punch him, and Danielson blocks him, and he's like blocking him and just painting the fence and all this stuff. And he's like, holy crap, I know karate. So that was pretty cool. I don't think you actually learn karate that way unless you're Ralph Macchio in a movie, but it was a really cool scene. The idea being that by doing these things like learning that painting the door and clearing my path is an energy pattern interrupt. I have applied that in bigger and bigger things over time because I have the wax on, wax off of doing that to build upon, and that's how he builds his coaching courses. It's really cool stuff. Marcia says, originally painting a door red was done when a mortgage was paid off and was a sign that you had become debt-free. Oh, look at that. He might have said that to me. I don't remember. But Robin says, roses, red roses. Cool. And Barbara's here. Hi, Barbara. How you doing? I was reading something not too long ago that said to go dig a hole for no reason. Sorry. Dig a hole for a reason. All right, I'm sorry. I was reading something not too long ago that said, go dig a hole for no reason and fill it, just to get the pattern interrupt and realize we have more choices than we think. There are other ways to do things, kind of getting our minds to rewire on a different level. Yeah, it could be any menial task or anything at all, right? And by the way, sometimes we kind of were talking about this last week, where it's like the blank canvas one. Sometimes you need a pattern interrupt because you can't do something. And I was saying you could do drills, or the basic fundamentals of your art. And a musician might do scales, just practice singing scales, or a singer might do like vocal training lessons. These are all pattern interrupts. These are all things. It's like I'm trying to do this thing, but I can't get there. So let me go do this other thing. It's like, bam, I was good at that. And now my energy has changed. So I bring that new energy into this thing. And look at that. I can do it. Robin says, trying to do something big. Quick win. Yep, absolutely. Ray is here. Hi, Ray. Red is the color of leaders and individuals. Cool. Didn't know that. Amy says, hey, Robin, red roses for the Red Door Day. Yes. And Marcia says, but in Chinese culture, red wards off evil spirits and brings you good luck and good health. Excellent. I painted my living room Ming red once. I painted my living room Ming red and created a flow through my home. Yeah. Excellent. That's really, really great. Robin, quick win to help me remember my power. Excellent. That's in quotes. I must have said that. Kirsten says, I've been thinking about painting the door. My doors are blue, so I've been putting it off. But yes, I love this quick win to put you back on track. And the universe is really here to surprise us. So stepping back and taking a quick win helps us move forward and ready for such surprise. Yeah, that's really nice way of thinking about it, right? We know the universe wants to surprise us. And we're here. Okay, here's something that Landon says, sup, dude? Oh, and you press the eCam button. Thanks. Finally. All right, here's something about this, right? I like this because I have said this before. The universe wants to surprise us and delight us. The universe has our back, right? Except, and I've said this before, the universe can't have your back if you're constantly turning your back on, where's my stuff? What, right? What's going on? You're yelling at the universe behind you, and the universe is like, dude, turn around. I got your back. But we're looking that way. So let me look at this one more time. So the universe likes to surprise and delight us. So here we are trying to get this thing done. Trying to get it done. Can't do it. Darn. Right? And we're all upset. The universe can't surprise you when you're focused solely on how it's going to get done. Oh, I have to do this thing, and it has to be this way, and this color, and this big, and this shape, and this whatever, right? By this day, it has to be by Tuesday at 4 o'clock, right? All of these criteria that it has to be. So the universe can't surprise you. Well, how am I supposed to surprise you, dude? If you're making all these unreasonable demands. So, you know what? Go paint a door. Go dig a hole for no reason and fill it. Go take a bath. Do anything that just is a pattern interrupt. Then come back to this with new energy, and it's like, whew, look at that. It's like I didn't even think of doing it that way. Well, of course you didn't, because I did, said the universe. But you were too busy focusing on how to do it that you weren't feeling your power. Our power isn't to figure out how to do it. Our power is to pull it out from our heart and throw it out there. And there it is. And then we go and we look back at it. I was talking to Richard Beatty today, and he said something about he had done in his life. And he said, and then I looked back on how I did it, and I was like, there was no way I could have planned how to do that. Think of the greatest things in your life. You could not have planned it working out that way. Because when you do plan it working out that way, it doesn't work. So don't do that. Amy says, do you have to paint the door red, or can you just put a red door in? Well, here's the answer. From Landon, can be anything. Rearranging furniture, cleaning out your office, closet, junk drawer, etc. Works the same way. Yeah, it wasn't the painting. It wasn't the paint. It wasn't go get Benjamin Moore number 25. It wasn't any of that stuff. It was, so if you might say, I got a red door, I want to install it. So now it's just if you're not a door installer every day, all day, now it's a pattern interrupt. It's a thing you got to do. It's just something to take your mind off that other crap. Or like he said, you rearrange your furniture, do something else. Go for a drive, fix your car. Doesn't have to be house building things. It could be anything that is just like, turn that off, do this sort of mundane thing, but get a win from it. Feel better afterwards. Going for a walk is one thing, but painting the door is like, oh, I accomplished something. You go for a walk, you got sweaty. So, there's that. Ray said, I get lost when I clean drawers. Do you not know where the drawers are? What do you mean lost? Robin says, we get stuck in these patterns of life versus pattern interrupt. But how do I do that? Maybe you already explained it, but I was late today and might have missed it. Oops, sorry. Okay, so patterns of life are the things that you do every day. We have patterns for everything, and many of them are fine. The things you do when you wake up in the morning. You wake up. Well, actually, they might not be fine, because maybe you wake up and you check your phone and you get sucked into Facebook or the news before you even have a chance to remember that you're God in a meat suit. It's like, so what I try and do is I try to wake up, and I told you the other day, I look in the mirror and I say some affirmations to myself, but then the other things I'm kind of on autopilot. I go inside and I brush my teeth, and I don't have to think about how does this go on this, and I have to go up and down, or do I go in my nose? It's like, no, I just do it. I don't even think about doing it. And then making coffee and stuff like that. So those things are patterns, but then we have other patterns which may not be helpful to us. I come downstairs and I immediately start worrying about this project that I have to do for this client that I've been procrastinating on, or this guy hasn't paid me yet, or this check hasn't arrived yet, or this bill is going to be due before the money comes in, or blah, whatever, and it's like we have these patterns of things that we end up then worrying about, and then we have patterns of anxiety. So the idea here is the pattern interrupt is just like, stop doing that. Go paint the door. Go dig the hole. Go clean out the drawers. Go fix the car. Go clean out the garage. Go do something that is a change in the pattern. You don't do it every day, and you can get a quick win. I think the quick win is important here, because then you can take that power from the quick win and that satisfaction and bring it back to the thing that's got you down. And now your mind isn't in that pattern anymore. So now when you look at it, you might see an opportunity. You might see you had a voicemail on your phone from the person with the check saying, sorry, I mailed it yesterday, it should be here today, and you didn't see that. Weird things happen when you get out of these patterns. Weirdly good. Barbara says, did I skip? No. Barbara says, I rearrange my living space every 3 months. I never knew why. I've been doing it my whole life. I do too. My entire life. I've been ever since I was a kid with my own bedroom, all the time, rearranging the furniture, rearranging this, rearranging that. To me, it is I've always known it. I've always been able to consciously articulate it too, that it was a fresh energy. It was just like, it was just new. It was fresh. I only had like 3 or 4 ways I could possibly do the room, but my whole life I would just rearrange the rooms and rotate those 3 or 4 ways. And even when I got back to one that I had done 2 or 3 times in the past, now it was new again. Always. And even just the doing of the moving of stuff around was enough to stop me from being in the pattern of daily drudgery that now when everything was fresh and new, I was able to look at the same problems with fresh eyes and a quick win under my belt. So yeah, great. Good for you, Barbara. It works for me as well. Robin says, Ray, yes, because he said Ray's name. I gotta breathe. Because when I do that, I make an even bigger mess. And sometimes it gets organized and better, and sometimes it doesn't. And when it doesn't, it's worse. You talk about getting lost, cleaning out your drawers. Yeah, I think the trick is to not bite off too much more than you could chew, or also to just keep going until you're done. Sometimes I end up going late into the night if I've ripped my office apart. The thing too is that I've done it enough times that I kind of know this is going to take me 6 hours, and I only have one, so I'm not going to start it now, but I'll do this tomorrow. So that's something to think about. Landon says, the door thing is because you see it all the time. First, it's a pattern interrupt. Then it's a reminder every time you see it. That is true. I have never come home and not seen the door and thought to myself, paint the door red. I think it all the time. It's absolutely true. Robin, and then I remember the power of that time, Robin says, Barbara, when I was young, I used to do that and liked it when I did, but haven't kept it up. Are you talking about the moving your stuff around? Barbara says, you guys are having a conversation. It's like I have to do it. If I don't, I feel unsettled. Yeah. Landon gives me a smiley wink. Landon, you are the universe, surprising and delighting yourself. Haha. Yes. Robin says, Kirsten, love that. Kirsten, Robin loves that. I don't know what, but something you did or said was very good and appealing to Robin, and she's happy. And Deb says, yes, learning to let go of the how, #surrender. Yeah, the how thing. I'm a big fan of figuring out how until I remember that I shouldn't be and that I'm really not, but then I go back to being it, and then I stop, and then I have a pattern interrupt, and then I go back to... It's called being Bobby. Robin says, that pattern interrupt thing is kind of like my thing of just do something. Whenever I get stuck, because it gives me the feeling of success so I can feel powerful to tackle the next thing. And that works. Good. Anything that works, just do something is good. But I like the idea of the quick win, and I like the added idea of what Landon just said, that if it's something that stays. Cleaning the basement is great, except like I said, the basement gets messy again, so I don't see it again. The door is still red, so I see it every time I come home. So think about that. Amy, how big are your drawers? Ray's like climbing in the drawers, right? Getting lost in there. Where am I? Ray, I should clean out my drawers and send a box full of stuff to Lazaro and another to Hector. Win-win. There you go. Deb says, a useful tip someone gave me is when we start overthinking, say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it gives you that pattern interrupt to refocus on the task at hand. Yeah, even that could be like a very quick pattern interrupt. I have done things, especially in dramatic moments where I just felt like overwhelmed quickly, where I would just remind myself mentally, you got this. And like this calmness would just come over me. And it was like, okay, we got this. And I go, and everything's fine. There have been more than one things of that. So, but if it's counting down or just you got this, but it's got to be like in a way that like I've done it where I feel it, and now when I say it again, I know it. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I don't know if I explained that. Quick win energy equals fuel for the soul. Oh, I like that. Yeah. Fuel for the soul. Might be stealing that. Thank you. Robin says, look at the same problems with fresh eyes. Yeah, exactly. That's in quotes, which means I said it. Did you really paint your door red, Bobby? I really did. Yeah, I absolutely did. I went to the store, and that day he told me to do it. I did it. He's a powerful guy, you know. He's got that beard, and he tells you to do something. You're just like, I better go do this. And Robin is giving a thumbs up to Kirsten. Cool. So that's the last comment, which means I got nothing else to read. So we can be done. All right, guys, thank you so much. And that is today's Daily Fuel. We will do another one tomorrow because that's how daily works. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. And like I said, anybody who is interested in helping me with this thing, Kirsten, I've got you. I'll add you to the list now. I'm pointing at my whiteboard with the names. Deb, I got you already. Just let me know. You can message me or you say something in the comments, but tag me. Look for the post I've got in the announcements of this group, and you can write something there as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, and Landon, thanks for the topic and everything else. And I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, Robin. You get the booby prize. See, I didn't say it, and nobody stole it. All right. Bye-bye.